Do you want to be average? Do you want to be above average? Do you want to stand out? I mean, are you in this game just to have a fight, or are you in this game to become the champion? It's time.
Gentlemen, welcome back to the Men's Collective podcast, a place of real men and real talk. We're ready to get into it today. We are the Average Joes, Wayne Taylor here, and fellas, God, it's good to see you again. I say it every week, but it really is. You guys are good fellas. It's good to be around you. Jamie, Mikey, Steve-O.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, has it been a week since we've seen each other? That's the question.
Actually, we see each other pretty much every single day, other than you, mate. You seem to be...
Some of us work.
Some of us work, Jamie. Yeah, well, it's good to see us. Thanks for joining us. We've got a ripper of a episode today. So, look, start off with just a couple of things. Look, welcome back to you, or the audience, you fellas out there. It's always good to have you. Even the ladies, too. We've got so many responses from women listening to the show, loving the show. So, look, men and women, guys, we appreciate you. A big shout out to our sponsors. The guys over there at One Life been a big part of what we've been doing right from the start. You guys are absolute legends. And look, you keep winning award after award after award. So guys, jump on their website, One Life Property. They do amazing things. They've got opportunities for you to do investments with them, things like that. But they are literally the leading builder and developer here on the coast, and they're absolutely amazing. But they've been a part of us right from the start. Built this studio with us. Guys, big shout out to you. You, our audience, your reviews and your subscriptions and your hitting that subscribe button and all that kind of stuff really means a lot to us. If you jump on any of the major platforms, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, leaving us a review does absolute wonders for us, because it bumps our stuff up organically out there for more and more listeners and watchers. So guys, if you are enjoying it, please, we want to hear from you. Reach out, send us a message, send us a review, but hit that like and subscribe button. It makes an absolute world of difference. So guys, a couple of things. Look, actually, I want to read out to you a review on that note. I've got 2 reviews come through this week that are phenomenal. I want to actually read them to you. Good morning, guys. I just finished catching up with the episode Death to the Patriarchy, which was 2 weeks ago. I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for being honest and having the guts to speak about taboo topics. You do it with consideration and care, and to ensure that you're not being cancelled for having an opinion, but you say it as it is. As someone who didn't get a single COVID shot, doesn't agree with digital ID or a lot of what the government is doing, I appreciate you using your voice. The more people who speak their truth and express their opinions respectfully, hopefully the more others watching and listening with the same opinion will feel more confident to speak up and join the front line. This is exactly you guys embodying the leading from the front and by example. Keep fighting the good fight. That was Jade. Jade, honestly, you got absolute legend. We appreciate you writing reviews, things like that, because it means a lot to us that it means a lot to you. So that's awesome. Another guy, just listening to John Comerford's episode last week of surviving the unthinkable. He's written, wow, wow, wow. That was hard to listen to, as my dad went through something similar. Kudos to John for sharing. What a guy. Yeah, I'm actually actually sitting here right now. My phone's just lit up again with another comment on that episode. Small recap, guys. What do you think? Last week's episode you listened with John.
It's tough to listen to, the story.
Is a tough one.
So many questions. Why did it happen? How did it happen? Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
But what a guy. Like, what he's come out from that and what he's doing with it, amazing.
Yeah. He actually rang me yesterday. He said that he was driving back from wherever he was, and he was in the car with his partner, and they were listening to the episode back, and got right the way through to the end of it. And his partner said to him, "You guys all got along like you knew each other for like years and years and years." And for him to say it to us, I said, well, that to me says that you were comfortable enough to be here, but we've made that environment as well, because that's exactly what we try to do. And you as listeners out there too, or watching what we do, we want you to feel a part of what we're doing, because hence why we keep that name, The Average Joes. We're just like you. We're just all on the same journey about becoming better men, but we're just like you. We're just the average bloke, destined and trying to be better. And for him to say that she's picked up on that he felt as if we'd known him for so long, that's a great thing to hear.
Absolutely.
So it's really, really good. But okay, Jamie, over to you, buddy, for Ask Us Anything.
Mate, so today we've got a question from Adam, and he's like, hey, blokes, any of you buy crypto? So...
I do. Mikey does.
Well, first, listen.
Might be buying some more this week.
All our advice is general in nature. Please take your own circumstances into account.
Actually, yeah, a bit of a disclaimer.
Et cetera, et cetera. We do not give financial advice.
How to get the dream cardboard box by Asia.
To the moon, just bought a Lambo. No.
Look. I think anyone who didn't buy crypto, especially Bitcoin, is kicking themselves. And I knew someone about it, and I wish I did. I wish I did take the opportunity, but it also changed my mindset a little bit too. Is that make sure that you do invest. I think a lot of people prioritize having enough money to drink on the weekend. A lot of people prioritize enough money to be able to go gamble. A lot of people prioritize going on a holiday. And before you know it, you're getting towards retirement age and you wish that you just sacrificed a little bit less earlier. You know what I mean? Great example is One Life Property, one of our sponsors here. As Wayne was saying, is that there's opportunities for you to invest in projects and developments. Other great friends of the podcast, do the similar sort of stuff. So, whether it's gold, whether it's silver, whether it's crypto, whether it's stocks, whether it's bonds, whether whatever it is, just put a portion of that money aside for your future. So I think that's the point to get to. So crypto is all good. What do you boys think?
Yeah, I've been buying crypto for about 6 years, I think. I even just last week when I saw the dip, I bought again, went up again the next night. I thought, great, timed it well, bought the dip, and now it's dipped again.
You're a genius.
No, far from it.
But keep buying the dip.
just stay in the cycle of dip. But no, look, who was that? Adam, was it?
That was Adam.
Yeah, look, I've been buying crypto for years, buddy. I'm a big crypto believer. Do I believe it's going to be the ultimate future? I think we'll get to the point where digital currency is a lot bigger than what we know. Will it phase out fiat money? I don't know. I think we'll still have paper coins forever. But yeah, I'm into crypto. But I want to back what you say, Jamie. I think learning to invest as a man, and not just learning to invest, but taking action in investing, huge. And I think any smart man, any man thinking for the future for himself, and especially with what we say all the time, protect, provide, and lead. To provide for your family, to provide for yourself, learn to invest. Is crypto investing? Look, I think it's part of diversifying where you can put money into places that can see growth. Would I call it investing? I don't know. But yes, I do buy crypto to answer your question. Big believer in it. Fellas?
I'm still playing the long game. I'm just stashing rum and coconuts and gold bars. When it all falls, come to me.
Staying old school.
No, honestly, looked at it. I spoke to a guy a while ago just talking about exactly that thing, diversifying. And he's got obviously like crypto, gold, cash, and just diversifying the way that he stores wealth for his future, and just clever planning rather than sort of putting all these eggs in one basket. So I definitely believe in it. It's an option. I don't think it's a huge investment piece, but still, as you're saying, Jamie, it's investing into your future. And I think it's definitely valuable to look into it and not just put your head in the sand and say, oh, we don't get involved in all this. Like anything, there's a reason for getting into it, but if you don't do your research, you'll never know what to do. So
yeah, agreed. Well said, Mikey.
Yeah, mate, I buy crypto. I've got crypto, silver. In the recent years, I've gotten a lot more brass and lead.
Guns.
Hairspray. Hairspray?
You're still sucking off on hairspray.
Yeah.
Still investing in hairspray? Yeah.
Look, you've got to be prepared, guys. You never know.
That's a man of faith over there. Bald by hairspray.
No, my back, honestly, neat as anything.
There you go.
Oh, well done, Adam. Yes, mate. Short answer, we buy crypto.
Awesome. Hopefully that helps. Adam,
We didn't give a single tip, though, did we?
Oh, no, I think we did, actually. I think Jamie, this
No,
side of the
it's
panel
in
did
an
well.
insider tip.
No tips.
Don't buy
What
donuts.
to buy.
Excellent. I hope it helps, Adam. Next, we've got Sean up. Now, Sean is, boys, I'm feeling very flat. I'm not lazy. I'm not a lazy guy, but just feeling flat. More of a lack of drive. Anything can help. Cheers. Okay, so Adam, you're feeling flat. As Sean's feeling flat. Adam wants to do his best. Okay, back to Sean. There we go. Friday afternoons. Excellent. So Sean, I think everyone goes through different seasons. The first step of when you're feeling flat is taking action. But I think deep down, any time that you're feeling flat, it's, people say it's a lack of motivation. I don't think so. I think it's a lack of purpose. Because if you have goals and dreams and things that you want to achieve which are greater than your feelings, then you will be motivated. So I think just actually sit down and go, think about, why do you want to do what you want to do? What's the driving purpose? And I was lucky enough to find that early in my life, which was, to be the best dad possible. So anytime that I don't feel motivated or I don't feel like doing something, it's just an easy core question to ask myself is, do you want to give Kobe the life that he deserves? And it's such an easy question. People say, motivation is really hard to keep going. Well, the first part of motivation is actually having a motive and a reason why you're actually doing it. So make sure you get that purpose, make sure you get those goals, and then actually just discipline yourself to do something small every single day. And once you take that action, you can build from that and you'll start to feel better about yourself. So, boys.
That's really good, buddy. I couldn't agree more, mate. I thought of this question when I saw it come through, and it's easy to go down the path of motivation, but I actually agree with you. When I was thinking about how to answer this, I'm thinking, well, it does come down to purpose. But this is what I'll say also. When you start to feel flat and you start to look for purpose, there are men out there sometimes that then stop and go, well, I don't feel like I've got a purpose, right? I'm going to give you a little bit of a hack around that. When you feel like you don't have a purpose, one of the quick and easy things you can do is tap into someone else's purpose. Find someone that you can connect with that's having a drive, that's doing something, and connect with their purpose. And you'll find helping someone along the line of doing what they love, you'll start to get a purpose. Doesn't need to be the same as theirs, but I'm just saying connect with someone that's driven to do something as well, connect with them, tap into their purpose, and you'll find that these things start to then just start growing on you, and the drive comes back. It's very, very easy to do. I know Mike and I have said this many, many times with our barbecue thing. There'll be times where I just feel flat and I'm like, man, I just like not feeling lazy, but I'm just not feeling it at all. And then you go there and then we do these barbecues and you come back so energized because you see that there's purpose out there. There's a reason when you're providing for a community and you come back from that, you go, man, okay, I get it. I get it. That was, not motivating as a word, but that was fulfilling, very much so.
Yeah.
Boys.
You want to jump in or?
Mate, the barbecue really is where I was going to go with it, is that how many of our volunteers come along and they are, eventually they start talking and they were feeling flat. They wanted to get out, try something new, and they've come along and found that purpose by helping others. And there's that, when you're feeling flat, you're looking inwards. When you're helping others, it's outwards, and it just takes the emphasis off you and it's on someone else, and it just kicks that. Once you started, you go, right? Like we leave the barbecue every week and we're pumped. It's the end of the week. Let's go. Let's do this. It's but you just got to do something, right? Even if it's something different. Go for a walk. Go down the beach. Smell the roses. Whatever's your thing. Try something new. Just do something,
Smelling
right?
roses is your thing, Mikey. Yeah.
Candles?
Yeah, get candles. Ray likes candles.
Mikey's a big candles man.
What are they? What's the scent you get?
Apple tree blossom watergrass, something.
Oh, that's the best one. Rather than sort of doubling down on those, I mean, they're the sort of things that I would jump to straight away. But something I think of really, really quickly is, I know when I feel flat, my first tendency is to isolate. I just don't want to be around people, and I tend to sort of get by myself a bit more, and it just perpetuates that feeling of being flat. And the more you're by yourself, the harder it is to then get motivated to put things in line. And so there's an old saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with someone. Or go with people. And I find just practically when I'm feeling flat, I just want to get around some people who are moving in the spaces that I need to move again in. So if I am feeling flat about my health journey, as soon as I can get to a gym or go somewhere, even public, like jump down Mooloolaba Beach, see everyone running and walking, it kind of spurs that motivation again. And so for me, I just tend to feel like if you don't have the willpower, then find the environment. And it always picks up the slack and gets you moving again into those spaces. And it doesn't have to be hugely purposeful all the time, but just doing something. It's easier to steer when you're moving. So I would just, if you're feeling flat, grab a couple of mates who are doing all right, get around people and just ride out this season, as you were saying, Jamie. There's always seasons. We're always going to have moments of being flat, but just ride it out positively and not get stuck being isolated, because then it's just a downward spiral.
Yeah.
And candles. That's that's my two.
And just touching on the motivation thing, if you're not sure what you want to be motivated about, just find something that pisses you off and then do something about it.
Yeah, put the ABC on. That 2 minutes out.
But do you know what I mean? Like, you see a problem, like that's the community dinner. You look at it and you go, people are struggling out there, and instead of sort of going, this is horrible, the government should do something about it, as men, you stood up and went, okay, let's do something about it, you know? So sometimes seeing those problems out there or something that pisses you off, that can be a great motivation for you, because it feels like you're doing something about it and you're making a difference about it. So guys, if you do, hopefully that helps. If you do have questions, just reach out to us on the socials, send us an email, jump on the website. The telephone number is still coming. Thanks anymore.
Wayne's phone number's on the bottom of the screen.
But yeah,
Thanks, buddy. Really, really good. That was Ask Us Anything. Mikey, buddy, over to you, mate, for the week that was.
Guys, another great week. Another great week.
I did see some of your articles.
Oh, man. So, do you ever feel sometimes at work you feel a little bit out of your depth?
Never.
And you go, oh, I'm not quite sure how to answer that. Okay. Imagine being Anna Cody.
I did see this video. My goodness.
So our sexual discrimination commissioner, or sex discrimination commissioner, last week in the Senate was in an inquiry, and she couldn't tell us what a biological male was.
And she's the boss.
It's scary, right? It is so scary. Like, you just look at where that goes. Now, that was directly in questioning along the lines of there's actually currently a male paedophile in a woman's prison in Victoria. And that's what the questioning was around. Yeah. So
it's the equivalent of Colonel Sanders not knowing what a chicken is.
Pretty much. Like, can you imagine how hard the dating scene is for her?
What's your bio? How do you create a profile?
Yeah, looking for something, I don't know.
Maybe there's a box that's like ticked meh. What are you? Meh.
Don't know.
What is it?
But how does that affect us in everyday life, right? I mean, you look at the flip side of that. We got Donald Trump has just put legislation forward which is saying the American government will only recognise men or women. That's it. So there's 1,000 of the scariest soldiers in the world have just been stood down, and we're in court in Australia going, well, we don't actually know what it is. They're our government officials. They're the ones that are in charge. We've got kids at school. These are the people that are going to be going, let's keep our kids safe. How do you do that?
Yeah. When I saw that video, because I saw exactly the one you're talking about, and I was watching it, and it was in the upper house or something? I can't remember. We don't even know where it was held, but they were drilling her about this.
Somewhere in the swamp there in Canberra.
Somewhere down there. But they were asking, and I'm going, wait a second, I'm watching government, like paid officials, people that are getting paid with government money, tax-funded money. And she couldn't even answer what the initial question was because the question itself stumped her back at just what a male was. And it's like, no. The question is about, the safety and the discrimination against, a male pedophile in a female prison. What are we doing about it? And we couldn't even get an answer to the question because we were stumped at, well, I don't even know what a biological male is. And I was sitting there watching this video going, this is where the advancement of our country is, the great country of Australia, and this is where we're stumped. That the boss, the commissioner for sex discrimination doesn't even know what sex is. Yeah, it stumped me. I couldn't believe it.
Do you think her boss knows what a commissioner is?
I think if you drill down far enough, I mean, obviously, we don't know everyone and how they think and on their background, but I think if you drill down far enough, I think it's a case of knowing what it is but not wanting to admit belief in that. And so you justify an answer to try and stick within the value that you choose to have, even if it's the most irrational, stupid thing to everyone else. And that's the lane that we're in, is we can't admit it's that, so we'll make up some other stupid excuse or avoid the question completely just because I don't want to admit that there is two genders. And I think that's the thing we're going to always be facing. And so you've got Trump coming out and saying there is two genders. you know, in a first world, how can a similar first world be so confused? I don't think the answer is confusion. I think it's denial based on a belief system we want to push. And that's what we're going to be facing, is we're always going to come up against this sort of stuff, not because of lack of knowledge, but a lack of wanting to admit that this is truth. And it's a truth issue, not a knowledge issue. And that's going to be a difficult one to fight.
I actually think it's a bit of a trying to please the certain sector and the other people that actually have common sense going, oh, that's all right, they'll put up with that.
Go the Pollies.
There you go.
They've always given us news articles like
Mate,
that.
vote Jamie. Vote Jamie.
Vote Jamie and buy crypto.
Wow.
That's the that's what we've come to.
That's it. But now, the last thing I want to mention on the week that was, Lydia Thorpe, the legend that she is, threatens to burn down Parliament if it helps protect Palestine. What do you reckon, lads? Do they need more protecting? They seem like they're doing all right for themselves over there.
I'm just surprised Lydia Thorpe's not in jail. If that was a...
She should be, right? Well, she's currently being investigated by the AFP. But where's that going to go?
It's a long investigation. It was 2 days ago now. It should have been instant. You're literally threatening to burn down the
But there's a long line of things, right? Like even when she was sworn in, she was there. She wouldn't even actually swear allegiance to the country. She was running around giving the Black Power thing, waving around in the air like a communist. She shouldn't even be in the job. Like she hasn't performed the minimum criteria to actually sit in that room. And now she's threatening to burn it down.
Do you reckon social media is behind a lot of the drive and why some people now do and say stupid things like that slim chance to go viral? Like they're jumping up and saying things like that because they know there's 50,000 cameras on them that are going to punch out, you know, all these different clips and memes and reels now.
Absolutely. And they were protected to a point. Like in America now, they're not. You know, Trump's put things in place. Everyone's still protected here to say the most absurd things, and they know nothing's going to be done about it. There's no recourse. There's no consequence. You can do whatever you want and know that it'll get covered, it'll get moved on at this point. And so, yeah, it's a free reign to anyone to do whatever they want. And social media is fueling it.
Yeah, but it's only a free reign one way, because if you put those views the other way, it would be a very different story. You would very quickly get arrested. And we see people around the world, you know, and I'm sure it would happen here as well. You will get arrested for, if you threaten the Parliament. Freak. Doesn't get much. Yeah, it doesn't get much bigger, does it?
Yeah. Touching on the social media thing though too, is that you've got to understand is that social media is designed to keep you watching. So if you watch one thing and you believe something, it's going to give you more of that one thing. Yeah. And people are getting their information from a 30-second reel, which is not verified at all. It's all propaganda. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean?
I know what you mean, Joe.
And propaganda, right? Propaganda is a lot of the time a lie. So, like, if it is something that you're actually passionate about, like, even if you do believe, like, and you back up Palestine, or if you back up, you know, Israel, or if you want to do something with the Parliament and you care about that sort of stuff, actually get in behind it and find out and have a look at it from both angles and make your decision up, like a decision from that, not a 30-second reel and not this and that, like, because that's going to feed you the information that you want, whether it's correct or not. So actually educate yourself before you start to spread that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm with you, mate.
Wow.
Go, Lydia. Is that it, buddy? That was it for the week that was.
I could go for another half an hour, but I feel like we've got a topic coming up.
We've got a topic
There's
coming
so
up.
many things I want to,
Well, thanks for that, buddy. Well, look, guys, now it's time for Man vs. Machine. I have got an absolute whopper of a question, and it's going to I hope you're ready for this one.
What's a woman?
What? No. It's actually a bit freaky. Well, okay, let's just get into it. Ready? So this is the segment of the show where we put forward a question to the lads here on the panel. I also put the same question to ChatGPT, and we compare the answers. Reason being, I want you guys as our listeners to hear the perspective from real life people that have had lived experiences, people with emotion, people with we've been there, done that, compared to this ever-changing machine called AI. The question I put forward this week, boys, I'm going to ask you first. Do you think men are still evolving, or have we started outsourcing our growth to machines? I'm telling you now, you just wait till you see what Chad says. Question, do you think men are still evolving, or have we started outsourcing our growth to machines?
Are you talking about men as in the individual person or mankind?
Mankind.
Surely we'd have to still be evolving, right? Like you look at some of the stupid shit that people say on the telly, like Lydia. Surely we're still evolving. We'd have to be, right?
Compared to outsourcing our growth to machines. So are we getting smarter? Are we getting dumber? Like, are we relying on machines too much?
We're
or
getting
are
dumber. We're getting dumber.
We're getting dumber, you reckon?
Yep.
Steve?
From what I've seen and what I've heard, I would say we are moving into a realm where we're outsourcing under the guise that we are evolving. I'd say we've fooled ourselves into the fact that we're evolving by outsourcing that evolution to machines.
I like it, Jamie. So to ask that question again, do you think we're evolving, or do you think our growth, we're relying too much on machines? Are we outsourcing our growth to machines, or are we evolving ourselves and getting better?
No, I don't think we are.
Do you think it's
That's a very long way of answering that question.
Well, there's two sections because
In summary, no.
Okay, the
I've
example
got
I
pictures of
think
Skynet in my mind. Like,
in 20 years' time, we're going to be redoing this in a bunker, speaking to the last remaining humans.
with cups and ropes. What I think of, and for me to answer this question, I think of the GPS. Going back when I first started my working life, I was a general hand at a tool making place. Anyway, part of my role was to do deliveries, and I had the old street directory. I'd pull it out, I'd study it, slide it under my seat, and I knew the back roads all the way through Seven Hills, which is in Western Sydney. I just knew where I was going. Now that GPS exists, I just punch it in and I go, and I'm just driving sometimes. I don't even know where the hell I am. So I would say, in reference of that story I've just used, are men still evolving? Are we outsourcing our growth to machines? I believe we're outsourcing our growth. I'm getting dumber. I feel like I'm getting dumber because I'm relying on machines.
well, I
too
didn't want
much.
to say it. I thought you'd been delayed.
Okay, so listen.
Hey Siri, take me to McDonald's.
Okay, I asked
You're already
Chad.
there, Wayne.
Yeah, you're already there, Wayne. You haven't left.
You've been there for 3 days. Sorry, lose weight for me.
All right.
Mr. Taylor?
Yeah, okay, I asked Chad the same question. Do you think men are still evolving, or have we started outsourcing our growth to machines? Listen to this. If you look at it logically, men are evolving, but not upward. The body's softer, the focus is shorter, and the threshold for pain is lower. Machines have taken the weight off men, but also the purpose out of them. You used to grow through friction, now you go through downloads. So the question isn't, are men evolving? It's in what direction, because evolution without struggle isn't growth, it's surrender.
Did they just say we're becoming women?
Chad.
I'm going to have to delete that part.
I know. That's good. I just
Oi,
want
that,
to give the editor something to do.
isn't that interesting? It's saying,
true though, isn't
yeah, you're evolving, but not upward. You're softer, your focus is shorter, and your threshold of pain's lower. Machines have taken the weight off you, but also the purpose out of you.
But when you look at the
That's
mental health epidemic, like,
I totally. That's the first thing I thought of. Yeah,
I'd love
it's
to know what that
interesting.
answer is, like collecting on a big scale. Because I think most people go, yeah, we're doing better, we're getting better, things are, moving faster, we're getting things done quicker. I do. I think we're just becoming overweight, lazy, just weak in general.
you are.
Yeah. I lost focus there for a minute. What was it? My attention span dropped out.
It's but isn't it
Yeah.
interesting when you put a question like this into AI as the 6 months? How long has AI been out for now? It's been a couple of years now. Is it 2 or 3 years?
Well,
Let's call it 2 years, right? Might be 3. Anyway, for the 2 years that AI has been out, and it has looked at how many millions of users per day? I don't even know what it is, but AI has been studying us as humans for the last few years by just looking at our content, looking at what we ask it, learning about the human race. And then when you ask it this question and it answers you, oh yeah, you're evolving, but not upward. So basically you're evolving, but you're getting dumber, going down. You're softer, your focus is gone, your pain level's gone, your purpose has left. This is what AI, the smartest machine on the planet, is judging the human race. This is how it's judging us right now.
so if you said to it, how do we fix it? Is the answer less AI?
they'd tell you to pull its plug.
I want to ask it. Yeah, it's going to be real quick.
Just say, Chad, we don't want to offend you, but
Chad, just while you're here.
Make it talk to us.
Yeah, ready.
I'm too lazy to read
Then we
it.
wouldn't have a podcast.
Here's 90 minutes brought to you by Chad.
Oh, wow. I've just given its answer back into chat and it said the content has violated the terms and usage policies. Okay, so it's watching us. It's definitely watching
Chad,
us anyway.
if you're hearing
all
this,
right, so that
I'm
was
sorry.
Man vs. Machine. If you're watching and listening, we're sorry. Okay,
It's a bit of a dark week this week, isn't it?
moving right on. That was Man vs. Machine. So a little bit freaky.
That's depressing, but
It's
anyway, moving on.
it's actually it's revealing, if anything. Isn't
It's good though. It's good to hear that. It's a good wake up call. I think it's something that we need to hear. The fact that we're hearing it from the machine who's taking over is a bit annoying. We didn't come to like, hey Chad, are we all right? No, you're not. You guys are failing miserably.
It's like the new boss has stepped into the office. Am I doing okay? No, I actually haven't even reviewed you yet. I've just watched it for the last half hour. I need to see my office in half an hour.
The window's clean. Stop licking it.
Okay, that was Man vs. Machine. Mikey, start with you, buddy. Over to you for Out and About.
Guys, great week again at the barbecue. Start out, guys, Gateway Care, thanks very much for your continued support. Got a heap of food this week, and we actually brought some of it into the studio for today. Some of those brownies.
Oh,
Dude.
I was like, there's barbecue in here?
What?
No,
What brownies?
Yeah, we.
Yeah, that's right.
Someone did come
That's
late,
right.
mate.
Someone was late again. Someone was late. No, they're over there on the chair, bro.
They are.
In the VIP section.
Go grab one. They're over there.
No, but again, great week at the barbecue. So thank you, Gateway Care, for your support, and also Nambour Heights Butchery. Best sausages in town. Always good. So another 90 meals this week. Had a great bunch of guys. We had a heap of new faces.
Heaps of new faces last night.
New
Heaps.
volunteers. Kerry brought her brother from New Zealand. It's a long way to come for a bar. You look pretty tired, bro. You look pretty tired, eh?
I get these back home. Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary, buddy.
Oh, sausages are better though, aren't they, mate? Yeah.
I actually brought my dad along last night to the barbecue.
Yes.
My dad's up at the moment for this week from, where does he live? Bateman's Bay. And I brought him onto the barbecue, and it was quite interesting, actually. My dad's nearly 72 years old. And I said, mate, what do you like behind a barbecue? He's like, oh, yeah, I go all right. I said, yeah, I know. So, come to the community feed with us. So I dragged him along last night, and I brought him there, and I put him behind the barbecue there with Mike. And
Well, so the feedback though, what some of our volunteers did notice, they're like, oh, this is the first time I've seen Wayne cooking.
really?
Yeah, and it was because your dad was there. You were like, quick, step up, show him I'm a man, cook the barbecue.
So I said to someone yesterday, I said, you know why he's so good looking? They said, why? It's my dad, man. No, but I'll say this though, the drive home was interesting because we got in the car and I said, how'd you like it? And he goes, mate, I've not seen something so raw in my life.
You didn't cook them?
Oh, is that when someone dacked me?
No, but he goes, oh, I've not seen that firsthand before in my life. He said, that was like remarkable. I said, you enjoyed us? And he goes, yeah, he goes, like that every week. I said, yeah, so we get all sorts of people came out, you know. The purpose when Mike and I did start it was for the homeless / people that needed that little bit of extra help throughout the week. And we get them. We get all sorts of people come out and they look the part too. I'm not judging anybody, but the demographic is there. You can see it. But my dad came away and he goes, I'm 71. I've never seen like that come out. Because we've said all the time, I mean, there's a place right near where we are, hence the reason why we do it where we do. But just that young girl came out on the bike. Did you see her in that pink, one-piece pink tracksuit thing? She's on the push bike. No. And she said, can I get 10 of them for takeaway? And
really?
Yeah. And Michelle said, yeah, of course. What are they for? She goes, it's for what she call it, my village. She called it my camp. And she's part of Tent City, which is under that bridge there, or around the corner from the bridge there at Nambour. All homeless people, they all live in little dome tents. And here's this young girl, like it just, my dad, a bit shocked because he brought up on the way home. He goes, did you see that young girl on the bike? I said, yeah. I said, did you hear what she said? And he goes, yeah, going back to her camp. I said, yeah, she's part of Tent City around the corner. And she had this plastic bag over her shoulder and she's loading 10 hot dogs into a bag to drive back to all the tents there to give to people. And I'm like, it's just, and it's 10 minutes up the road from where we are. It's right at our front door.
But you see how these people look after each other. Like you look
They
at
do.
community, and so many. Like we get some pushback from a few people around our Nambour community saying we shouldn't be doing what we're doing. We shouldn't be encouraging these people into the square. Mate, they're awesome people. They're always nice to us.
Yeah.
They're human beings, right? They're good people. Like, they've made some decisions, and some good, some bad. But man, I love it. Like, it's a great time. And look, it's not even just where we are. There is an issue with housing affordability, homelessness, cost of living all over the country. We go to Caloundra, Palmwoods, Maroochydore, everywhere you go, it's there. And wherever you're listening, if you walk around and look, you'll find them too. Yeah. So, you know, which let's just switch gears a bit and go over to look our funding at the moment with Give Send Go for the food trailer. Now, one of the things we were talking about yesterday was actually looking at setting up other people to do community feeds out there.
Yeah.
So what I would say out there, if you're listening and you guys do want to somehow get involved with the community and start doing something similar to what we do, reach out to us and we will help you set up what we do here. Because it's not that hard. It's not that expensive. People cover it. As a group of men, we can all chip in a little bit, right? And
What's
make
it
these
really
things
cost?
happen.
Hey, time. Bit of time.
Bit of time.
Yeah.
Like
A couple of hours once a week.
Yeah.
couple of hours, you know, I don't know what Wayne pays for most of it, you know, sugar daddy.
It's the company I don't like.
Yes, well, look, I'm probably the worst company there, actually. But but we've also got some T-shirts not far away. So $50 T-shirts, they're coming. Are we still sticking with this?
It'll have a slogan on it, but yeah, the purpose behind the shirt is that if you buy one of the shirts specifically designed for the feed, 100% of that money goes towards the feed. You can buy a shirt. At the moment, we are throwing in the slogan of "This shirt fed someone." That way, you know, buy the shirt and you wear the shirt, and it's a good conversation starter because you're basically saying that the purchasing of that shirt has fed someone. We're open to ideas, though. If you actually want to drop in the comments, send us a message. We're open to ideas for shirt designs or shirt slogans.
Absolutely. That's what I was thinking. You've heard our jokes, so if you've got something funnier to say on a shirt that would send that message,
let's put it out there.
Bring it out there.
What would be the best slogan that we could put on a shirt? We'll have a family-friendly one, and we'll have an after-hours one that we can make up just for the lads here when we're having a beer afterwards.
Also mentioned, Mike and I just yesterday morning was out at Hope House, the coffee place. We met up with Salt Radio. Hope House and Salt Radio combined yesterday to do some fundraising for women, some of the survivors of women's domestic violence.
Yep.
And Mike and I went up there, part of it yesterday. And I'll say this without giving too much away, but we met up with was she the general manager of Salt?
Yeah, GM of the station, yeah.
Okay. Met up with the general manager there of Salt Radio, and we have a meeting with her next Wednesday, throwing around some ideas of some great things that we've got, things that we're toying with that is going to be phenomenal if we can get this over the line. Like, just Mike and I had a bit of a chat afterwards, just throwing the ideas, dreaming, and it's, it does nothing but excite us. To be honest.
So one of us made the statement, we went out for a coffee by the beach and we just spent $1 million. So not our $1 million.
Government money.
Yeah, that's right.
That we don't have yet, but we'll get it. Okay, that was great for Andy.
They'll just print more.
I'll do a quick recap on the meetup so we can get going. But our meetups this week were going really, really well. I just want to say to you guys, if you want to get along to an Average Joe's meetup, they're 1 hour a week. They're right across the coast. We're actually in 2 countries at the moment, expanding into the 3rd. But jump on the website, jump on Facebook, our most updated locations with times. The website's still, I'm guessing within the next 1 or 2 weeks, will be totally up and running. Oh, I should say totally up, like changed, renovated, up to date. But all of our, transformed. But all the locations and times on Facebook are accurate. So reach out if you want to get along to one. They go for 1 hour. The topics that you hear us discuss here, they're broken down into small groups for men. Like we say, we have an agenda when you go to one of the Average Joe's meetup. We're not, it's not a piss up. It's not a place just to hang. It's a place that we have a purpose to get in there and walk out challenged to be better men. I mean, look, none of us are here to waste time. The reason we keep it for 1 hour, we want to make it appealing to both you and your family. So you're only out for 1 hour. If you're out for 2 and 3, all of a sudden it's a night out. But pinching you outside of your family time for 1 hour, it's enough time for you to have dinner, shoot out, you're back in time to put the kids to bed. So we just keep it very, very short, but it is there with an agenda to make you better. If you want to jump along, guys, Budgeron, Brightwater, Mooloolaba, Bribie Island, Albany Creek, and in Pakistan, of all places, and they're going great. If you want to start your own AJ's meetup, guys, jump on the website. Right on the very front page there, when you open the link of our website, there's a link there that says, host your own AJ's. Click it. It starts a conversation with me. You and I will have a couple of emails back and forth. We'll do a video chat. I'll send you out all the info because we do have a code of conduct. We've got some things that we stick by that we are very, very not only, I won't just say cautious about, but we do what we can to protect the brand here at Average Joe's. Because like I said, mate, we're not here for a piss up. We're not here to take the piss either. We're here to be better men in the community so you can serve your community, serve your families, and just be all around good fellas. So if you want to start your own, totally open. Reach out to us. Okay, fellas, that was out and about. Now we are over to the main topic. Righto, today's topic, fellas, I'm calling staying sharp. On my last trip to Japan, I'm about to go on my third trip to Japan because I absolutely love the place. But on my last trip, I bought a knife. I've always wanted to buy a knife when I've gone to Japan, and I finally went there. Handcrafted, super expensive, loved it. Absolute masterpiece. Lisa and I, my wife, we stared through the window there and watched this craftsman make this knife by order from me, make it by hand right in front of us. It took hours upon hours, hand sharpening it. We watched the whole process. It was absolutely incredible. This knife, perfectly balanced, razor sharp, the kind of knife that literally feels alive when it's in your hands. And for the first few weeks when I got home, I'd pull it out and I would showcase it to anyone that came over. It would cut through anything like it was nothing. It was just so smooth, so light. People would use it and just comment on how good this knife was. But over the next few months, it started to lose the edge. Here's the kicker. It still looked the same, but it didn't cut the same. And I realized it doesn't matter how perfect something is built, how much it costs, or how good it looks on the outside. If it loses its edge, it loses its purpose. That's when it hit me. Us men are the same. Somewhere along the way, a lot of us have lost our edge. We've gone from sharp to safe, from hungry to habitual. Maybe it's stress, maybe it's distraction, maybe it's life just wearing us down. But too many of us are walking around blunt. We look the part, but we've stopped cutting it. So here's the question. What does it actually mean for us men to stay sharp? Is it about training harder, thinking clearer, leading better, or is it something deeper? That inner fire that keeps a man dangerous, alert, capable, focused, and ready for whatever comes. Because the truth is, a blunt blade still looks strong until it's tested. And we've all been there. Life will test us. Are you still sharp enough to lead, to protect, and to fight? That's what we're diving into today. What makes a man lose his edge? And more importantly, how does he get it back? So if you've ever felt like you've drifted a bit, like you've lost that edge, stick around. Today's episode, we are unpacking what it really means to stay sharp, mentally, physically, spiritually, and why your edge might just be the thing that changes everything. So fellas, I hope you're ready because here comes your yes or no, and I will come back to you for your reasons why. Yes or no, as a society, are men as sharp as they were 100 years ago? Mikey?
No.
Steve-O?
Definitely not.
Jamie?
What Mikey said.
Are men as sharp as they were 100 years ago?
No.
I'm going to agree. I'm going to say no as well. Mikey, why? Why do you think we're not as sharp?
By so many different things, but like even how we dress, right? Like men used to dress sharp, man. We used to
Peaky Blinder style. Was
like
It
yeah,
was
with
there,
the
wasn't
hat,
it?
with the
It was a
blade,
gentleman.
yeah. But well, no, that was what. If you go back 100 years, and whether you were a well-to-do banker or you worked in a coal mine, you wore smart pants, smart shoes. The dress was very similar, right? It was different, but it was very similar. We just held ourselves to a different standard.
Yeah.
There was how we behaved in public, how we acted around women, how we treated our kids. I'm not saying that was better then, but we were very, very structured and rigid, and we were a lot sharper with how we did everything. There was a lot less distractions, and we had to get on with it. Well, it was sink or swim, right? Back then, there was no
Absolutely.
safety net.
Yeah. Not like there is today.
Yep.
Steve-O?
No, I think between Chad and Mike, we've nailed it. But I think we've swapped smart dress, smart action, smart everything. We swapped it for a smartphone. That does everything else we need. We don't need to be sharp anymore. Everything is online. Everything's digital. And Chad just told us we are devolving.
Yeah.
We're not evolving. We're not getting sharper. We're losing our edge. And we know it, but we don't need an edge anymore because everything's done for us. Yeah, I think we are evolving in the wrong direction, and this is a great topic to show that we have lost our edge, not losing it, we've lost it, and we're just content to not get it back. As long as we look the part. Isn't that what social media is all about? Who needs to be sharp when you look sharp?
Yeah, you're spot on. How many reels I've seen of people getting photos in front of, photos and stuff in front of Lamborghinis, and they're posing for a photo, and the owner of the Lamborghini comes out and goes, "Oh, you get off my car." Yeah. It's like because the one getting the photo originally is just there for I need to look the part without being the part.
You know, it's interesting too, though, if you think about it, I think there is a minority that is still getting sharper, but they're the ones running everything else. Like if you go to Silicon Valley, right, there's schools that run there that only use pen and paper. Smartest people in the world, they don't use tech at all in the school. Why? Because they know that that's taken the edge off. So the smartest people in the world send their kids to the smartest schools in the world, which only use pen and paper and build the traditional intrinsic things that made us good in the first place. They're keeping that value, but it's a big secret. Everyone else, you look at every school in the country now, we have to use iPads. We have to use technology, and we're relying on that, but the people running it don't use it. Why is that? Because they want to keep their edge. What do? They avoid tech. But they're the ones creating tech for everyone else.
It's interesting you say that because Steve Jobs, before he passed away, head of Apple, right, made a comment that his kids will never have iPads.
Yeah.
Not only that, my wife just last week said, "Oh, I just watched this whole documentary on Prince William, and how he operates with family and blah, blah, blah. No iPads." And you go, the head of Apple, like you go, make a tech juggernaut, like just a...
Did you say Jobbernaut?
Jobbernaut, yeah. Steve Jobbernaut.
He's the ultimate Jobbernaut.
He's the ultimate Jobbernaut. But you go, no iPads for his kids.
Yeah.
Then you go, Prince William, like you see, people, position of royalty and that whole stance on who they are. No iPads. It's like they want to keep the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I mean, tools were originally invented to add to what we do, but now they've replaced what we do, and we now serve tools instead of tools serving us. That's the bottom line. 100 years ago, every guy knew how to drive a manual, start a fire, build a house. We built our own. Look at those guys still dress sharp. They would do their gardening in a tie.
Yep.
Right? There was a standard. Now we've become the tool instead of using the tools, and we seem to be okay with that and convincing ourselves we're getting sharper. We're not. We've lost our edge. But as long as we look sharp, that's all that seems to matter. Because if you pull that knife out now, I don't know if you sharpened it, the wow factor is still there until you try and use it for what it was purposed for.
Literally going to tell you a story. It happened.
Tell us a story, Wayne.
Okay, I got the story for you. But literally because that happened. So I'd had the knife for because they say to you it's not dishwasher safe, right? You got to wash it by hand, right?
Yeah.
And we have thrown it in the dishwasher by mistake because my kids will load it and sometimes go, "Oh, guys, why did you put it in there?" And it gets little rust spots on it, right?
Cut my dishwasher to pieces.
Yeah, you've sliced up my dishwasher. No, but I had it. We had it for about a month or so, right? And it was still getting to the point where you have visitors over and they go, "Oh, how was your trip?" "Oh, Japan, unreal place." And I'd be like, "Hey, check this out," because here it was, had this handmade knife. Not only that, when the knife was done, he said, "Oh, look, what's your name? I'm going to engrave your name into the knife." And he did. He chiseled my name into this knife. So I've got this knife, my name written in Japanese, and it got to the point where I couldn't display how good it was. I could just show with just its presentation, right? "Oh, how was your trip?" "Unreal." "Hey, check this out." Pull my knife out. "Wow. Oh, Japanese are the best." "Yeah. Does it cut?" "Oh, it used to. It's a bit blunt at the moment." "Oh." And the moment you hear the "oh," it's just like every other knife. And I go, the moment you get the "oh," you go, well, I could pull this other drawer out, which has got 15 butter knives, and I get the same reaction now. Because
And then the Japanese guy came in and was like, "What does it say round eye on your knife?"
Jamie, tell us why, mate. Why do you think we've lost our edge?
Iron sharpens iron, right? And I think as men, we used to sharpen each other. We used to call each other out. You know what I mean? If there was someone in the community who was being an idiot, they'd get a slap around the head. If the kids were out in the community doing something wrong or stealing, or you know what I mean, they'd get a slap in the head. And it wouldn't be, "What'd you do?" It'd be like, "Thanks for stopping my kids from doing something stupid." So I think as a community, men aren't holding each other accountable, and men aren't, as you said, upholding those standards that used to be there. And it was so funny because where you went with the school, I thought about it in a different way, but similar. Where I'm like, Where it used to be, we used to care about what happened in our communities, and we used to care about our friends, and we used to care about, making the people that we hang around with the best version of themselves. I mean, that is the whole drive behind, Men's Collective here and Average Joes. It's not that we want people to be average. We want to increase what average means as a man in society today. But I just thought about it because, going through all the studies and doing personal development and all the rest of it, it's not actually, hey, go out there and help the community. It's go out there and find someone like you and hang out with those people. And, I think that is part of the problem, where you're just like, hey, awesome. This is only available for a certain select group of people for you to know this stuff and for you to push each other and for you to do that sort of stuff. Where really it should be anyone that you know or engage with, you should be trying to, I guess, inspire them or impulse them to actually become better men. So...
Discover multi-award-winning real estate with podcast sponsor One Life Property Group, based on the Sunshine Coast, Queensland, specialising in everything from high-end duplexes to multi-residential developments, ensuring the highest quality workmanship. Visit onelifepropertygroup.com.au today to achieve excellence in your next property development.
He actually says something I hadn't thought of about the whole, go back to the whole village days. If a bloke was out of line, he'd be held accountable because people would pull him back into line or tell him to get back into line. It's living up to him to get back into line. But I wonder if the removal of that, because the removal of that started with this whole, political correctness. You can't say that because this person's offended. So the moment you've removed that, there's less accountability held towards people now, because there's that less accountability. People don't need to be as sharp anymore. They just, what does it matter? Because we've removed something that was used to be.
Well, we're too focused on feelings.
Yeah.
What's that supposed to
right.
mean?
There you go.
There you go. Or you're trying to be sharp and everyone else is trying, and all the big mouths are the ones that are dulling you. Do you know what I mean? They're the ones out shouting rather than having the people who believe in what you believe in having your back. It's people, I really think it's people staying silent about what they believe in and not backing up people that are trying to make a difference. That's the problem. Yeah? Because right now it's the loudest voice wins. And unfortunately, the loudest voice are the people that don't have bugger all common sense. You ask anyone these days, you go, common sense is not as common as it used to be. It's something I hear all the time.
Yeah. It's the old saying, mate, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. And you're exactly right. And this is why I guess these groups of just nonsense, this whole crap that we even just talked about before, but, not even our sex discrimination minister not even knowing what a male is. It's because these groups have just become so loud that they're the ones that get the attention. They're the noisy wheel. But you've made me think about that whole accountability thing again. Like, I'm looking at it going, we've mentioned it before, but the whole tall poppy syndrome. I wonder if the sharper you are as a man and the more capable you are, the more grounded you are, the more focused you are, the more you become on that journey of becoming better, the world also pulls you down for being that kind of guy. Because the world doesn't like, it's like people don't hate the fact that you do well. They just don't want you to do better than them. So if they're doing as well as you, they're okay with it. Isn't that a shame? I wonder if that contributes to why men have backed off and gone, what's the point? What's the point of trying anymore? What's the point of being that astute, confident, grounded, focused guy when I was that guy? I guess get pulled down anyway. And who are you getting pulled down by? Guys that weren't as good as you.
They're not even guys.
Yeah, no, but actually, you're actually right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Not that we're saying that it's women doing it, but I'm saying you don't even.
Yeah, I've actually lost where I was going to go with that. It's been a big week. Wow, I was like, it sounded really good in my head. It's gone.
Do you know where you are, Mikey?
See, you're losing focus.
Attention's gone.
You're losing focus.
Where's my gender reaffirming?
Where do you reckon we go blunt first? You look at a bloke that's lost his edge. Where does it start? Is it body, mind, spirit, health, attention? Like, what is it? Where does he start to go blunt first?
Well, if you look at a blade, if I take it practically, you can't blunt the front end, not the back end. It's the whole thing slowly goes. I think it's the same thing. If you look at it, why did it go in the first place, right? Overused. It was used for the purpose it was meant for. You used it. There wasn't maintenance in it. and eventually it gets blunt, right? I think we're the same. Is you can start with a purpose, with a motivation. You can start gung-ho at something. Overuse without maintenance, we just become blunt. But it's like it's all in the same thing. It's very hard to be motivated in say, fitness, but not in something else. Like our motivation and our workforce seems to sort of rise and fall with each other like the tide. All boats rise and fall with that tide. And so I think it's a mindset of just not improving, not investing, not doing the maintenance to sharpen up again. I think we find it sort of happens in all areas. It's not just sort of a part of it. It's very hard to find someone who's killing it in one area and like just really having apathy and struggling in another area. You generally find that sort of match. That's not every case. It's case by case. But generally, you get dull across the board in a lot of areas. I think it's just lack of maintenance, lack of investing. What does it look like? If we don't know how to sharpen it, you'll use it until it's blunt, and then we put it away.
Well, what if it's been misused in the first place? Like if you got that new knife, instead of chopping on a chopping board, you used it on the bench or against a brick, or you rubbed it against the wrong surface. If it's been misused for the wrong intention, are we as men focusing on the wrong things to cut, as it were?
That's exactly where my mind went.
It's a really good thought, mate.
Where I was like, we are focusing on like the wrong things, and we're being pushed towards the wrong things as well too. As in, this is what we want you to be, rather than what is in your natural nature. You know, if you read the book Grit, where it's talking about having longevity and being really good at something and all the rest of it, the first thing that they talk about is find something that you find easy. And a lot of men are out there where their true nature is one way, but they're not actually allowed to be that person. Do you know what I mean? Like, I talk about it all the time. People are so worried.
You said it.
You've said it like 94 times already.
Shit.
$1
Keep
for
going,
every time.
that's good.
Yeah. But
There's our new shirt. You know what I mean?
but you talk about it, like I talk about it all the time, where people are so worried about their kids getting angry. Do you know what I mean? Or acting out and all this sort of stuff. But they don't know how to control that anger if we don't actually let them be able to express that sort of stuff, because that is their nature. That's their nature. And so we need to actually focus on what we're designed to do, which is to protect. So yes, you should be in the gym. Yes, you should be getting stronger. Yes, you should be able to, when there's something at the night that is creeping around your house, you get up and be the person to actually protect that, protect your family. Like,
I just immediately went to when your mother-in-law's staying.
Yeah.
Go protect the family.
What is more important to you? Yeah. Where is it like wasting your money on silly things and looking cool in front of your friends, or having something in the bank to look after your family for the future, What's more important? Driving something that you're passionate about and driven about, and what's gonna motivate you for that, or video games, and I think the biggest thing, one of the biggest things, one of the problems is the thing that starts to blunt you as a man is self-limiting beliefs. Yeah, something happening to you and you telling yourself the wrong story about it. Do you know what I mean? Last week we had a story from a guy who had a horrible thing happen to him, but the story he told himself was, and he actually even admitted on the podcast, he was like, there is a part of me that is glad that happened, because now I am helping men and actually putting this out there so less people will go through that situation. So you just having those self-limiting beliefs and you having those stories is part of the issue where you decide not to take the maintenance anymore. You decide that you're not worth the maintenance anymore for you to get sharp.
I think that accelerates the process. Even if you still cut the right things, you are going to lose an edge, right? I'm sure, Wayne, you didn't cut on brick and concrete and all that kind of stuff, or try and chop shoes. Remember the old days for the knives? You chop through a shoe and like a frozen chicken.
10 free technology. Look what it can do.
Why are you showing me you can cut through a
Jamie's
shoe?
like,
who the hell's cutting through a shoe?
Did.
Like, cut through a shoe.
How the hell do you cook
knife.
that? But I think even cutting the right things, you will still lose your edge. You will still dull over maybe a longer period of time. There's still an element of we have to look at maintenance and resharpen ourselves, whether we like it or not. It might be a longer process, but we still have to eventually sharpen ourselves even cutting the right things, putting the effort into the right things, we got to be careful. How do you know it's not sharp? Well, you can compare it to other things around you. But I heard the saying, that, and it's true because I've done it myself, but you're more likely to hurt yourself with a dull knife than a sharp knife. You heard that? Mm-hmm. Why? Because we have to then overcompensate because it's lost its edge. So you're holding it differently, you're using more force than you have to, and you end up doing something silly. And I just think compensating is probably not a great word in a podcast like this, but really, are we learning to sharpen our knife or are we learning to sharpen our compensating skills? That's what the focus is what does it take to stop and sharpen the knife rather than where is the effort that I'm compensating and putting more time into that? And I think half the time guys don't know. We put effort into compensating and keep just push through those things until you can't cut a tomato and can't cut anything else. Yeah. And, you know, what is it to sharpen? What does it look like to sharpen it? Because it has to be eventually something we do.
I think you made a good point. Actually, you made a couple of good points there. I want to touch on what you just said. Stick with the tomato for a second. You ever tried to cut a tomato with a blunt knife?
Yeah.
What happens to the tomato?
It's just absolutely squashed there.
Okay, so you ruin. So now, in other words, where we are as men, where we're meant to be effective, we end up actually damaging.
Yeah.
Right? And because I've been there, even with this exact knife, probably about 2 weeks ago, because I've gotten to the habit of sharpening this Japanese knife, but literally it was that very thing. When I first got it, you could do the whole hold the tomato there by itself, and you'd go like this with a knife, and it would slice the top off, and it just you feel like, hey guys, film this. Like that's how it got to. Right?
How many salads did you make when you first got hundreds of tomatoes?
For other people, guys are coming at this
but slicing gummy worms.
Gummy bears, yeah.
You don't win friends with salad.
But it got to the point where I was now holding the tomato upwards, and I'd go to put that pressure down.
Yeah.
And I'm now using more pressure, so the one using it had to work harder, and it was still damaging. And it just so one point I want to make on that. But the other thing is that when a knife is blunted, you do have to use it harder, right? Now you think of that within a marriage circle. If you're a wife and you're married to a bloke that's lost his edge, you as the female have to work harder in the marriage to keep, because you're picking up the slack now because the man's not cutting it anymore.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that.
You write that down. Wait, can we just? Where's a time reel? Because we need to get a reel for that one. No, but isn't it true? Like,
yeah,
you as the wife, like you're compensating. You're holding where the man's supposed to be.
Yeah,
like you're now lifting up that slack.
Yeah, and slowly getting destroyed in the process because things aren't
100%.
cutting; they're getting smashed.
So you could probably go through broken marriages.
Yeah.
And to some degree, I mean, it's one thing to look at a broken marriage and go, oh, she. But as a bloke, I think it starts with me. I look at, you got to...
In a normal language, where do we hear that? Things like, do you remember when they used to be romantic? Do you remember when you used to, do things for anniversaries?
Yes.
All that kind of stuff, right? Do you remember when you used to spend time with the kids? Or remember you used to, get the garden sorted and fix stuff and take the rubbish out, right?
Remember when the knife used to be sharp?
Exactly, that's it. It's remember when you had an edge. That's what the real conversation is. Do you remember when you had an edge and you put intentional focus into the things that mattered into this relationship? That is good, now, man. You're just like, ugh, it's just a dull, blunt, forced trauma, just trying to get through it. But that's how it appears. That's the conversations that we hear, and we go, oh, shut up, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, no, that's someone in our life telling us, do you remember when you used to be sharp? And coming back to what you said, Jamie, the accountability piece. Do you remember when this used to be sharp, right? We don't listen to it because it's painful. We don't want to remember that we used to have a really good edge and now we don't. Because what does it take to fix it? Work. It's iron sharpening iron. We've got to work at it again. And as men, do we just find it easier to be blunt?
Do you think that some of the maintenance comes from the women though?
I think it's
well, who's sharpening the knife, mate?
So
it's the chef.
No, I know what you're saying. It's the responsibility of the knife person, like to have that.
Because
I think it identifies from different ways.
Because if you talk to some of the most successful people in the world and they say, what was your most important decision? It would be, it's who you choose your life partner with. Yeah, because a lot of those guys, so yes, I agree with you 100%. Do you remember? But also, are they also now cleaning the house? Are they also now taking the kids to this place? Are they also doing all these? Are they also doing the shopping? Are they also taking on other responsibilities?
Who's they?
So I'm talking about men. So do you know what I mean? So having a clear expectation because like we talk about that, yes, the man is the knife or all the rest of it. But don't you think that part of the maintenance is the partner?
Look, I want to answer it this way. I don't think the man's the knife and the woman's the sharpening stone. I think we're all knives because we all have an edge, which is why I think it goes back to that whole as iron sharpens iron. So it's the rubbing together. So I think it's the part of, if I'm going to put the responsibility of me staying sharp down to somebody else, I think that's a character flaw on me. I think it's...
Yeah, but I'm not saying that it's a wife that has to sharpen it. But what I'm saying is it part of the maintenance? Because if you store your knife in a drawer that is just clanging around and having things bump into it and make that harder, do you store your knife in the knife drawer?
No. It has its own box with a little spongy case and it slides together. And you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So and I'm not. So
Where do your blunt knives get stored, Wayne?
All together in a drawer.
yeah. So I'm not saying that yes,
We're
it's a
going deep today,
responsibility.
aren't we? We're going
I'm
deep.
not saying that yes, it's a responsibility of the partner. Yeah. But what I'm saying is that is also a decision on, is that part of the maintenance there? Where it's, because it's a team where you're like, you know, if you're going to focus on the things you're good at, there's other areas of that family that's going to be needing taken care of. And that is what a team's about. You know, you don't want a front rower, you know, doing the chip kicks or the stuff in a football team.
But that's where iron is sharpening iron. That's where I think if you're trying to find, I don't like the word balance, but you want to make a relationship work, and especially in today's society, and we say it all the time, it's going to be repetitive, but in today's society, you got husband and wife both working, they're both trying to contribute to the mortgage. So when one, I'm not going to use the word weak, the other becomes strong, I'm not saying that, but when one can't pick up the kids, the other has to. And I think that's where the iron sharpens iron. I think that's where that compatibility really steps in and goes, okay, well, I understand that, you know, I'm not going to call it a role, but okay, I know you pick up, because Mikey, you share that pick up and drop off role with your wife, Pip. You share that role. Because I'll say to you, hey, mate, you're good for coffee early tomorrow.
Yeah,
Let's meet.
sharing's a rich way of saying it, yeah.
You're so lucky she doesn't listen. No, but it is. It's the sharing, and that's where I think the ironing, sharpening iron comes from. But have you ever gone and had a conversation or a hangout with a guy, and you've walked away and gone, man, that guy is hard work.
Yep.
Why did you look at me when you said that?
Yeah, actually doing these ones. Have you ever walked away from a guy? No, but I've been there. Walked away and you go, man, that guy is hard work, because we're talking about the bluntness of the guy's character and who he is.
Yeah.
He's hard to work with. He's hard to deal with. He's hard to communicate with. That guy's hard work.
Yeah.
It's because the guy really has
It's
lost
because
his
you're
edge.
talking to a butter knife, that's why.
Yeah.
But you are. That's exactly right. You're talking to a knife that may have been sharp in the past. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
And we all have that edge, and I think the responsibility to keep the edge, but we've only talked in the context of relationships so far, right? As you said, Wayne, we all have an edge. So you're 18 and single, you know, what's the environment where you know you're losing your edge rather than just marriage? You're older, you're widowed, you've got different relationships, whatever it is, there needs to be a place where you realise, and that's where the work happens. You don't know it's not sharp until you're trying to cut something, right? So that intersection in our life is where are we putting ourselves to notice that our edge is missing? And that context is going to be different for anyone. For us, we use relationships because that's where we're at. But I think for anyone, it's highlighting, where have I lost my edge? What does that look like? And then where am I going to see it sharpened? Because I think we've talked only about relationships, but you know, you're a single young guy. Where do you know that edge is missing? Where does it get sharpened? Like the context grows, I think, after that.
Well, I don't think we've only talked about relationships, but so the angle I want to take it is where, all right, your maintenance sort of point of view, how do we do that maintenance? Now, one of them is, like, which we brought up, holding each other accountable. Where
Wait a second. I want to cut you off. Sorry, buddy. Let's just stay for a moment on how we get blunt in the first place before we get back to the maintenance side of things.
Okay.
How do you think we get blunt first to begin with?
Use.
What about boredom? Show me a bored man, a man that's bored in life. Show me a bored man. I think it's a man that's right at the early stages of losing his edge. It all starts with boredom. What do they say? Idle hands is a devil's playground. A man doing nothing, because we're designed to work, we're designed to contribute, but that's what. So you show me a bored man, I reckon you've got a man right at the start of going blunt.
Can I ask everyone around this table, when was the last time you were bored? Honestly, when was the last time you were bored?
I get bored. Sorry, I nodded off there.
5:33.
No, like, honestly, because I sit there and go,
For me, it would have been about 3-4 years ago.
Bored. Yeah. You don't get bored on weekends sometimes? I do.
But that's only one element.
but you just
Like that's one way.
Yeah, absolutely. It's only
you can
one
still be
part.
blunt, being overworked.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
most
you could,
definitely.
Yeah, you could be bored doing the same thing over and over. You could be bored. Yeah, that's a good. I didn't think of
Because
that.
I think there's a few things that.
I was just wondering
us blunt.
how many of us actually get bored. Like, how much have the time to get bored outside of Wayne?
Oh, don't say that. I've had one of those weeks this week where I was down here. Well, this morning I'd here at 10 to 5.
This morning was the first time I was bored. Was we went for a coffee and Wayne spent it all on the phone dealing with problems.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, Wayne doesn't work. I work
So what are you
extremely
saying
hard.
about like leaving a conversation and finding it really hard to do?
Yeah, Mike's that guy. God, that guy's hard. All right, so look, I'm going to say boredom is a massive contributor. What does he think contributes to a guy getting blunt in the first place? Saying overuse,
I would
use in
say-
the wrong way.
Yeah, I would say overuse, even doing good things, overuse without maintenance.
I'm going to say where he's been stored.
So his
Where
environment.
yeah,
really.
like you just used
a huge one.
the example of putting him in the dishwasher. Like
Treatment,
having a
yeah.
man who's driven, by nature we're driven, we work well when it's hard. It's life's a struggle, right? We get better when it's a struggle. So when we go and sit around fluffy and nice and, like when we went on the cruise, nothing to do, sit around, everything's pleasure and, have a cocktail. 3 days in, we're all got gut ache, heartburn. Haven't
really
improved
selling
anything. We were blunt.
Yeah,
We just blunted
you do.
ourselves
You
by too much good stuff.
yeah, you strive for it, then you get it, and you go,
Yeah, it's the journey, not the destination,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
In this case.
all right,
I also think though that boredom or distraction can come from. I think that's sort of an outcome of something that started previous to that. So because I think that kids don't wake up going, I don't want to do anything. Like kids will actually go find something to do. You don't see a kid stand up and then go, okay, I'm not going to try that anymore. So I think a lot of the time it's your environment that's around you during that time. Even the 18-year-old sort of person goes, okay, I've gone out and I've tried to talk to girls and it hasn't worked. So I'm not going to try to do that anymore. So I'm going to sit at home. So because it's too scary or it's too, or I'm not, or they've created a story about themselves and all this sort of stuff. So I think that's a symptom of something that's happened previous to that. So
yeah,
Yeah.
what are you saying?
It's like the guy that's forgotten the taste of victory, right?
yeah,
Well, I'll tell you another story on this knife. Just last week, so I've had the knife now coming up to 2 years. When I bought the knife, the actual shop that I bought it from has got an amazing display. Like the wall is covered in these most incredible knives, and some knives, like for one knife's about $4,000. That's not obviously not what I spent, but I'm saying like there were knives there on the wall. One
I wasn't
knife.
going to buy the cheap one.
Yeah, I'm not selling for second best. No. I think my knife. I think it was $500 for the one knife,
Right.
which is not. I mean, it's not the high end. It's not on the bottom end too. But $500 for one knife, that's a lot of money, right? But I wanted it because it's a memento in Japan. Anyway, tell you a funny story. So I bought the knife. When they bring the knife out to you, they take it through this whole big display and they test it. And they slice paper and they do it, and you go, "Wow, that's incredible." You hold it, you balance it, amazing. Then they slide this drawer open, and there's all these different stones, all different colours, with all different grit range. So you've got like an 800, 1200, a 1600, and then it goes all the way to about like a 10,000 or something, which means I think it's like per square inch or something, how many grains are in it. So the more condensed and finer, the more you get fine, right? Now, when I bought this knife, my initial thought when I bought it was, I'm going to go right to the extreme and get that. It actually feels nearly smooth. Like it feels like there's no grit to it at all. It's like a 10,000 grit something, right? So I thought I'll get one of those, and it come again in this blue box. It's about the size of a brick, but about half the thickness, right? But about the size. So I bought one of those, and I bought the knife. And when the knife got blunt, I'm like, actually, I've got the sharpener.
I know where you're going there. It was useless.
Do you think it sharpened the knife?
No.
No, and I'm
Too
gonna,
much.
It wasn't regular.
It polished the round edge.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you a funny story. Not funny, but I'm going to tell you a story where it goes with this, right? So for the last 18 or so months, I've been struggling and pushing and trying to get that knife back to its stage with this 10,000 grit stone. Just last week, and I'm telling you, actually, not even this last week. When did I go? It was the other, what day was today? Friday. When did I go to the plaza? Tuesday afternoon. So I've had the knife nearly 2 years, call it 18 months. And just 3 days ago, I went to the kitchen shop in the plaza and I bought a knife sharpening kit that has about 6 or so different stones. And what's interesting is that to take a blunt knife back to its sharpness is a drawn out, dedicated, disciplined process. You start here where it's hard with a low grit and you work your way up. And she said it's 3 strokes. 3 strokes with this one, then with this one, and you work your way all the way up. And I think when you're a man that's a
3 strokes doesn't sound drawn out.
you're
That's pretty quick.
You're a 3-stroke man.
You try doing that on top.
Settle down.
You've lost your edge, Jamie.
Yeah, you've lost your edge, mate.
No, I'm saying that the 3 strokes isn't drawn out, you know.
But here's the thing. To take that knife back to where it was, you start at the end and you work your way through. So any man, when you identify that, hey, I know I've lost my edge, it's not a process of going, right, I'm going to get my edge back. Because you see it January 1st.
100%.
Men get to the end of the year and they go, I've been there. Get to the end of the year,
New Year's
go,
resolutions.
you know what, man? New Year's resolution this year, I'm getting fit.
Yeah.
They join the gym, they buy and they go right for the stone right at the end. And they
I'm only
forget
eating
the
lettuce.
Yes. Yeah.
Working out 6
I bought-
hours a
I
day.
bought 10 lettuces and 9 gallons of water. And this is the process I think men miss, is they recognise they're blunt, they recognise change is needed, but they jump to the end and they try to go to the extreme.
Yeah.
And it's not, they miss the process. And when you, in the process, you get the knife back to where it was.
And when it doesn't happen in a week, you go, this doesn't work. And you give up.
How many men do that?
Yeah.
They do.
I tried for a week. I did it for 3 weeks. I went to the gym. I tried this. I was nice to my wife for a week. Things haven't changed. What is the point? Instead of just going continually through that process.
100%, man.
So the big thing is, well, is it easier to keep a sharp knife sharp, or is it easier to have this overhaul to try and get it back? Consistency is better than brilliance.
Totally.
Every day of the week.
And I think this is where we go back to what Jamie was saying. When it comes down to right, let's stick with let's stick with the process of getting sharp again. When you decide to get sharp again, understand the process can be long, can be hard, can be strenuous, and it can involve the changing of environments. I mean, I've gone from one stone, I've literally moved the knife right across the kitchen bench because I'm going from one piece to another, right? But when it comes to maintenance, the funny thing is that I've realised the stone I brought is a maintenance stone. Every time I've gone, because I've researched this stone, and it suggests that after I use the knife, I might chop up a whole salad for the family. I'll go wet the stone, I'll wet the knife, and I give it a real 4 or 5 things. It's a maintenance stone. And I think when you as a man, when you can lock your mind into that frame of mind by going, right, just to keep my edge, to keep that sharpness is a hell of a lot easier. Not that we're striving for easy here, but it's a hell of a lot easier to maintain where you're at than to try and build back up to where you know you should be. And I think that's one of the biggest keys that we miss is we try and start at the end.
Yeah.
But the maintenance, it's easy.
Yeah. But as you said at the time, every time you cut a salad, it's so easy to go, look, I'll do it next time. I'll do it next time. I didn't cut that much. Not a big deal.
I only cut 1 lettuce.
And then
only
3
cut
months'
1
time, then you're trying to just like hammer through lettuces because it's
Yeah,
not cutting
that's
anymore.
a good point.
Because we go, because the little things that we miss, we don't realize that's maintenance. We just think, I'll do it next time.
And go.
I think it's something even deeper than that, because who's given up something that they know they enjoy or something that's good for them?
Shout out to KFC.
Yeah. You know?
I haven't given that up.
So
Yeah, that's my problem. I haven't given it up.
No, I walk in so I get exercise as well instead of drive through.
so
The walk-in.
I went through like a spiritual sort of journey sort of thing and all the rest of it. So, and I used to meditate every single morning. Yeah. And I stopped it for about 2 years ago. And 2 years ago, I stopped it. And I've only just started it again. Yeah. And, you know, whether you believe in meditation and all the rest of it, but, you know, it does help sort of get yourself focused. It makes you feel good during the day. Great way to get started. So gym, meditation, and off we go. And I used to do it all the time. Yeah. And I think there's a little part of me that when I stopped, where I was like, not that you don't deserve this, but the priorities of something else is more important than you doing this. Yep. And I think, you know, that you being that martyr, or the, you know what I mean? That is where the maintenance stops, because you might put one thing in front of yourself, but then what's next? And then what's the next thing? And what's the next thing? Which is kind of my little point before, where I was like, yes, remember when you used to do this, but also you weren't doing 50 other things there. So, and I think a lot of the time there's a lot of men out there that get blunt because they also don't get appreciated for the things that they are doing.
Yeah,
right?
that's a good point. Appreciation goes a long way to a guy. If anything, I think you're right. I think appreciation. Well, here, Kate, this is a great way we can bring this to an end. What are some of the stones you think that sharpen a man? Because I think appreciation is a massive stone that can sharpen any man. What do you think the stones are that sharpen men?
Respect.
Good question.
I'm going to write these down.
Got to be respect.
Respect
right?
is a massive one. Appreciation.
Self-worth.
Physical touch.
Hey,
It is.
You're right. You're bang on, man. I'm not laughing out of humour.
Yeah. Self-worth. How you see yourself.
I think self-worth's a big one.
Yeah.
I think a lot of men don't see their own self-worth.
Yeah.
I don't think we stop to see our own self-worth. I think we're too busy just doing. That's why the knife's blunt, right? We just keep going and just get on with it. So we don't stop to reflect on how do I see myself? How do people see me? You just do.
I think purpose beyond ourselves.
Yes, that's a good one. You mean outward focused?
Yeah, others focus. So everything becomes about us. It's easy to get blunt because there's no purpose for an edge. When you realise you need an edge because we need to make an impact in this world, that goes beyond ourselves. So always having a vision that goes beyond ourselves, I think, keeps us keeping that edge sharp.
That's a really good one. I mean, that ties back into what we were saying at the start when we were talking about in the out and about segment with the barbecues. For a couple of $100 a week, not even that now, we've brought it down to about 200. What's it cost a week when you break down the snags and all this stuff? We get about
200 odd.
200 and a bit. We could easily go out for dinner and spend $200 on a meal. Spend the 200 and do 90 odd meals, and you go when you can just realign just with your purpose, find that purpose, and just for purpose just beyond you. You go out there and you can spend the same amount of money, but bring such an impact and a life change to others. And when you get outward focus, I mean, you and I have grown up in that environment from our old church days back in Western Sydney. The whole message of others, everything was others, others, others. And it is very easy to find purpose when your purpose is outside of yourself. That's what I was saying at the start. Like, you know, even if you feel like you're like, who asked the question at the start? Adam or someone who asked the question at the start in Ask Us Anything? We'll talk about the guy
About being flat?
Yeah,
Sean.
When you feel like feeling flat, and let's just tie that into, I guess, lacking that drive or lacking that purpose, be outward focused. Being outward focused, I think, is a huge stone to sharpen any man. Align yourself with something that somebody else needs and meet the need.
Absolutely.
I think another one is challenging yourself. Like actually going out and doing something and pushing
Something hard.
through.
Like that Frankfurt conversation we did.
2 weeks ago at Oktoberfest, we just randomly walked into a hot dog eating competition.
That was the rankest experience of
That
my
was
life.
pretty bad. Who won?
You, mate.
Not to bring that
I've
up.
never seen someone put so many midget wieners in.
Mate, keep your mind out of the gutter, mate. You're,
No, they were. They
you're
were little
blunting
mini
your edge,
Frankfurts.
righty.
They were mini Frankfurts, and you smashed 15 of them pretty damn
Settle
quick.
down.
all?
I know.
They were
lost my
like
edge.
dog food, man.
I'll challenge
They
it.
were rank. They were rank.
Guys, I've written down. Okay, so look, if you look at any man out there, and even when we go inward focus here for a minute, we lose our edge. If we look at these points I've written down here as sharpening stones: respect, appreciation, physical touch, self-worth, a purpose beyond, and challenge yourself. Just right there and then. I mean, we just gave that 3 minutes of thought.
Yeah.
And we've come up with some massive stones that can resharpen any man.
Can I go a bit further and ask, which do you reckon in grit order, how would you put those?
Okay, if we would look at it in grit order, so I would look at it then. So which one's the maintenance stone?
I don't think the list is finished, though.
Well, out of these ones here, if there was a maintenance stone, what's the 10,000 grit? If you're doing well at life, you've got a bloke, you've got any man out there, he's got well business, family's going unreal, he's as fit as anything, everything in his life looks really, really well. How would that kind of guy maintain himself by looking at this list? What's the one thing?
Read the list again.
Respect.
So the 10,000 is the maintenance, the lowest one? Yeah.
So got respect, appreciation, physical touch, self-worth, purpose beyond, challenge
I'd
yourself.
say appreciation. You're like, oh yeah, cool. I'm appreciated. That's more of an external driver.
I was going to say it's more of an external thing.
Yeah.
Though. So
I think if you flip the other end and go, mate, the hardest thing for me is accountability. It's hard to hear when you're not doing well. It's hard to be teachable. It's hard to get that confrontation. That's the big grit. Like that's the really painful one. When someone says you're not pulling your weight or you're falling short or you're not the man you used to be, that's a hard one to handle. But that's the coarse one that gets it going.
Yeah,
I think
which is what I think is, which is your
accountability
friends and family.
That's the dirty one that's just like, oh, that's painful.
I reckon a maintenance stone though, I think self-worth is going to be up there as a maintenance one.
Yeah.
If you've got everything going together, but you're
the
like,
intrinsic side of it.
just to stay focused, value yourself. And this is, and I say this, and I put my
I think
hand up.
self-worth is the box that those stones go in. I think self-worth has to come through all of that.
God, we're going deep today.
I think accountability is the Japanese guy who made it. Man, you could go so many directions.
we
right,
could keep going. We're nearly got a 2 hour.
Can I just say though, for me, I go, this is so good to know, and this is challenging,
Absolutely.
but nothing changes unless you put something into action. Because I could walk away and they go, man, I'm challenged to get my edge back. What's that look like tomorrow? Where's the accountability? Like, where does the stone start coming into play? Where do we start? Where does the edge start hitting those stones to start changing? Because it's easy to feel challenged, and then we just go back in the box and just go, I've become a display piece. I don't need to cut with it as long as I'm looking good. Where does this actually start?
Okay, let's do it. Let's go around real quick then on the panel.
Okay.
Where are you blunt? No, because I'll say this. Where could you identify within yourself that you're blunt at the moment, right? And let's hold each other accountable to taking action to get the sharpness back. Mikey, where would you say right now you're blunt the most?
Oh, this is a good one. Physical touch.
So I'm going to hold you accountable to it. Pip, oi.
I'll hold
Pip
you.
or you?
I'll hold
No,
you
I'm not-
accountable.
I'm not
actually going to hold you accountable.
I ain't holding nothing, mate. I saw you going there.
I ain't sharpening muscles.
What's one more mini Frankfurt?
Oi. Let's bring it back. Bring it back. Mikey, where would you be blunt the most?
I don't know. I honestly would need to sit down for a bit and think
I
about
can tell
that
you.
one.
And I'm your
Tell
mate,
me.
and I think I've got the
Tell me.
right to speak. It's the same as me. It's what you put in your mouth, mate. It's your diet.
There you go.
You and I have both gone straight back to where we were 12 months ago.
There you go. God, you bitch.
Yeah, but hey, listen, we've got
No, I
that
know, you're
accountability that we can say to each other.
It's true.
This is why it's called grit. It's hard. It's abrasive.
Yep. You're right.
But this is iron sharpening iron. This is me. But I want you to hold me accountable to the same thing, because quite often we'll have a coffee. Okay, you literally bought a slab of bloody brownies in here. Why? Don't do that again.
Okay.
Because I hate this.
Wait. Let's throw it
do
back.
that to me.
Yesterday, you ordered a flipping croissant
Mate,
full of shit and then tried to make me eat half.
Well, is this a blame or is this accountability
Fuck
happening
you, I'm
here?
leaving.
Diet would be yours, you reckon? You're
Yeah,
pretty blunt there.
Yeah.
Because we talk about it. Steve-O, where would you be blunt right now?
100% fitness.
Yeah, right.
Coming off an injury, and I've just went into a nice little run of emotional eating and just being complacent, and I've literally just gone about 40 steps backwards. And so for me, it's getting motivated to get fit again. That's where I'm at right now. Everything else is moving okay, but everything's been affected now by that. That's my massive blunt spot.
Jamie, where are you blunt the most?
It's going to be a funny one, but I think it's saying no. Now, there's a lot of times where I'm like,
Don't let them impress you like that.
I know this is the way that I want it, something to happen. Yeah. But then I let other people sort of like, you know what I mean? That no more Mr. Nice Guy sort of thing coming in. I have to start putting myself first again and actually just take control and just go and do what I want to do. You know, so I think that's where I've been blunt, where I've let too much outside circumstances change the direction I need to be going.
All right, so who's got who then? Let's hold each other accountable. Let's pick a partner and we'll swap it around. I'll hold you accountable to becoming physically committed again to your gym.
All right.
You hold Mikey accountable to his diet. Mikey, you hold Jamie accountable. And I'm good.
There you go.
And I've got you.
And you hold me accountable to my diet. All right, good. Lock it in.
I'm going to phone him up. He's going to say no. I'm stumped.
Okay, done. Lock it in. Well, thanks, fellas. That was
no. Before we go,
Yeah.
because I think there's going to be a lot of women out there that are going to be going, well, my husband, he's blunt. What do I do? As a woman, how can you start to sharpen that stone for him, that knife?
I'm not going to say it's the answer, but the thing that comes to mind is respect. You show me a man respected and you've got a man driven, you've got a man who has self-worth, you've got a man that wants to go out there and be better by the day.
I think a woman could almost walk through that entire list and do that.
For a guy, respect, appreciation, physical touch, self-worth, purpose beyond, and challenge yourself.
So if you're sitting at home with a blunt husband,
that's really good.
she could literally sharpen that for him.
Yeah.
Done.
And we're not saying if you're a bloke out there, this is not a checklist.
As a
Take
bloke,
to your
it's
partner.
yeah, that's right.
Take it to your missus.
But
Honey, the boys
it's,
said.
it's our responsibility, right? But there's someone in that house that uses the knife too.
Now,
Yeah, you're spot on.
Now, there's some therapists out there, though, that will say one of the first things in marriage counselling that needs to happen is for you to start making love again. And some coaches and therapists will go, you need to make love 3 times a week. And it doesn't sound romantic or anything. You need to book it in and it needs to happen.
What was their name again?
Mikey's just booking.
I'm booking 2. I've got 7 days in a week.
No,
man.
I've heard, I've got it from different sources, but a man is so inspired and wants to be more when he's feeling loved, you know?
That's the reward, though, isn't it? When you are on top of your game, and we're about conquering, right? So you're on the top of the game, and sex is one of those rewards. It's the prize. So if you get a little taste of the prize again, it just reminds you what the game was.
100. Yeah, mate, you're spot on. Totally.
But we're that simple. It's like my wife was sitting around with one of her mates the other week, and they were talking about what she was going to get a husband for his birthday. She said, he's so hard to shop for. I don't know what to get him. What does he ask for? He asked for a steak and a blowjob. Well,
Easy box
that's
of
hard.
tips.
That's almost free, isn't it? Like, it's that easy. But they're sitting there trying to figure out what to get. I'm like, no, the answer is steak and a blowjob. It's respect and it's touch, right? 2 right there.
Yeah.
You got a man right there that will go out and work 7 days a week, 12 hours a day, sweating his butt off.
But you will,
And
right?
that's all he'll ask for his birthday.
Yeah, like we
interesting.
will skip out of the bedroom and gleefully run off to war and face bullets straight afterwards. If you've asked for it and it's been a no, I've got a headache. You're like, oh, fuck this.
But also,
How different are we?
But also, you know, romance isn't what it used to be as well. But what came first, the chicken or the egg? You know, so like for the women out there, yes, that would something be motivating a man straight away, very, very quickly. But also for men, if you want to motivate your partner, that romance and being the protector and provider. So, you know, if nothing changes, nothing changes. So if you're unhappy with the way it is, change something. That's what I think.
Well, the world doesn't need more distracted, half asleep, blunt men. It needs men who stay sharp, men who think clearly, move with intent, and don't back down when things get tough. Your edge is what separates you from the average. It's what makes you dependable, confident, and dangerous to anything trying to slow you down. Don't wait for a crisis to realise you've gone blunt. Sharpen yourself daily in your mindset, your habits, your health, and your discipline. Blunt men drift, but sharp men lead. So pick up the sharpening stone, fellas. Get your edge back and stay sharp. Boys, thanks again for joining me on the panel here today. It's been unreal. That was a really deep. I got a lot out of that myself. Really, really good. So thanks again for joining us.
Awesome, boys.
Really,
Thank
really
you.
Let's go and get a cake, eh?
Guys, thanks for joining us here at the Men's Collective Podcast. Go on the website, grab some merch, head along to one of the meetups, come and join us at the barbecue. Just be a part of the community here at Average Joe's. We hope you enjoyed the podcast. Get out there and get sharp. See you, boys.